Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Health Matters, a comprehensive chat by the Islamic Medical Association. This is your Ramadan slot on a Saturday afternoon. And today we have a very interesting topic for Ramadan, some things we take for granted. It's diet, exercise, fitness in Ramadan. We have an expert from the exercise perspective and the topic that we're discussing, Muhammad Qasim from Motivations, a gym at the Splice in Killarney. And a lot of your viewers have seen Muhammad before on TV, so you'll recognize him immediately. Assalamu alaikum, Muhammad.
Wa alaikum salam.
Welcome, Muhammad. So inshallah we'll be talking just now, and I just thought we just mention obviously our teachings as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam have mentioned to us through the Quran and the Hadith the importance of Ramadan. But we also have the other important fact that we have a body which is an amana to us, and we have to look after it. And part of looking after that body is obviously to be in good health and good status. And this being a health show, we now look at more like prevention from disease. And with the injunctions that we have through our teachings as to how to look after our body by keeping it in good shape. And obviously your topic comes into this. So Muhammad will be telling us about health, diet and fitness in Ramadan, which is very important because many of us, we tend to slow down in terms of work. We also tend to slow down in terms of wanting to do our exercise if we are doing that. And sometimes we're not even motivated to even commence in Ramadan. Am I right?
Yeah, 100%. That's right. Correct.
So inshallah, let's start, and perhaps you can just tell us from your perspective. These are three topics, but they're not in isolation, right? And they're linked.
With health, fitness, diet, and your rest as well, it's all linked up, and I always describe it like an electrical circuit. Okay. You've got the light switch, which is your training in your gym, basically. So whether it's weight training or cardio, whatever it is that you prefer doing, that's the light switch, and you can switch it on and off the whole day, and nothing's going to happen. There's no light that's going to come on or anything like that. What I would say behind that light switch, the power that runs behind that light switch, that's your diet. That's one of the key aspects to your body functioning at its optimum. And then the third aspect is the rest aspect, the sleeping aspect. A lot of us, we find it hard to sleep, and we struggle sleeping. With sleeping, your body actually recovers. This is when your muscles start developing better. Your body starts recovering from whatever you did through the day. When you combine all three together, you switch the light on, the power runs behind the light, and the light goes on. That's the circuit that works. That's exactly what people need to figure out. You need to have all three working in conjunction. You can't out-train a dirty diet. So you can't feel, okay, I'm training so I can eat whatever I want to eat. It's not going to happen. Your body's not going to react the way that you need it to react. You need to have all three of this working in conjunction with each other.
It's a very important point you made, that people feel that once they're training, then they are free to do whatever they like in terms of their eating aspect. And perhaps we'll come back to that and touch on that. But obviously, this being the month of Ramadan, many people find it difficult, especially with the time, right? Because now obviously there's increased spirituality, there's more Quran recital to be done. Not that we shouldn't be reading throughout the year. There's a training ground for the rest of the year in terms of our spirituality, but also it's going to be a training ground in terms of how you're going to look after yourself, in terms of exercise, fitness and diet. And is this the ideal time to start for those who haven't started, and then those that have suddenly decided to stop? So there's two components to the question.
Okay. First of all, the ideal time is always now. So whether it's Ramadan, whether it's any other time of the year, the ideal time to start looking after yourself is now, before it's too late. You mentioned earlier that our body is an amanat, and in Ramadan we have to do the most ibadah that we can possibly do. By looking after the amanat that Allah has given to us, that surely is some sort of an ibadah as well. So Ramadan is a good time to start, and why I find it's a good time to start, especially with the diet. A lot of us might not have the energy to do the fitness sense of it, but with the diet, why I find it's a good time is that it's very structured. We eat at the exact same time every single day for 30 days. So if you can eat the right things at the right time every single day for 30 days, your body will definitely respond to it. If you do something for 21 days, it becomes a habit, as we all know. And if you're eating the right things for 30 days, it's already in your system. It's no longer a diet. It then becomes a lifestyle.
Okay, and the word diet has kind of a negative connotation. And so what you're saying is not a restriction of food per se, but is the composition.
The biggest mistake people make with diet is that they want to starve themselves. I'm not going to eat because I want to lose weight. That's not how the body works. In order for the metabolism to speed up in the body, we need to be eating every 3 to 4 hours, getting small portions of food in every 3 to 4 hours. What happens is, if we eat just a small breakfast and then a massive supper when we come home, the body doesn't know when the next meal is coming, and it stores everything from that meal that you have at supper time. Now, what you want to try and do is every 3 to 4 hours, have small meals broken up with your proteins, your carbs, your vegetables, and your fats. Just broken up in there so that the body knows, okay, I'm getting food now. Let me get rid of what I don't need, because in another 3 hours time, I'm getting food again. And in that way, you speed your metabolism up and you start losing weight a lot quicker than if you starve yourself.
Okay, so but now in this case, when we're going to start in Ramadan, okay, we've got 2 weeks left, but those that want to commence now, they won't be able to have these regular 3-4 hour stints. So if they're going to start basically iftar seri, then how will they then switch to that particular thing post Ramadan?
Okay, you're going to do iftar and seri now. So seri, the key to Ramadan, first of all, let me just get into that. The key to it is at iftar time, please don't eat junk food. Don't eat the savories. Don't eat the fried stuff. Stay away from the oil.
That's the tasty stuff.
It's the tasty stuff. Unfortunately, we got to eat for function, not for taste. And that's something that the human society needs to realize, that we need to eat for function. It's not just about the taste. They say, good on the taste, a lifetime on the waist. So if you eat the right things at iftar time, your body will be getting used to good food coming in, because what happens is, for 12 hours that we're fasting, we're not getting any food in. And we're going to eat samosas, pies, and all the oily stuff iftar time. The body is going to store everything. That's why some people actually complain, but I put on weight in Ramadan, I thought I'd lose weight. And this is where the problem comes in. The body stores all of that. That's why in Taraweeh, you're feeling tired and lethargic, because you've eaten such a big meal after a day of not eating anything at all. The body is trying so hard to try and break this meal down. It starts draining every little bit of your energy. Eat a good meal at iftar and watch your energy level go up through the night. Now, post Ramadan, what you would try and do then is slowly incorporate 2 meals in the space of where we would have been fasting. Just incorporate 2 meals into that, so it's every 6 hours there. And then as the days go on, incorporate the 3rd meal into that. The ideal diet, or lifestyle as I would like to call it, I wouldn't say diet, but the lifestyle is 6 meals a day, but 6 small meals spaced over 3 hours will speed your metabolism up. The body will be functioning at optimum. The energy levels will be through the roof, and you'd really be feeling good. Come 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, you'd be feeling tired, and that's the time to go sleep. The body will recover nicely again. You wake up fresh the next morning. A lot of us eat a lot of sugar things at night before we sleep. You know, when you're sitting and you're just relaxing and you want to have something sweet. The next morning you wake up feeling lethargic, because as you are resting, your body's not resting. It's trying to break those sugars down. It's trying to break all that junk food that you put in. Wake up in the morning and, why am I tired? I had 8 hours of sleep. But that's because the organs in your body weren't resting. You might have been resting, but the organs in your body weren't resting. So give your body time to rest by eating the right food through the day.
Okay, it's very, very important point, and you've made many, so I just want to go back again. Yeah. The one question that I asked you earlier, just to finish that particular aspect of those that have been doing what they're supposed to be doing, exercise, diet, fitness, pre-Ramadan, and then suddenly to change their routine in Ramadan, what do you recommend to them? Because some have stopped and others have done, but you know, the time schedule, it is a bit of a challenge.
I'll tell you this from my personal experience now. My routine was very structured in terms of out of Ramadan, in terms of my meals and that. Of course, with Ramadan, I had to change it up a bit. But in terms of your training, if you're going to stop for 4 weeks and you've been training for 5 years before that, it's not really going to hamper your fitness that much. Okay, so it's not a train smash if you feel that I can't go on and I can't train. But if you do want to train, there are really good times to train. I mean, being in South Africa, we're very lucky. It's only 12-hour fasts. Iftar is at 5:30. By the time we're done with Taraweeh, the latest is 9 o'clock. If you come to Splice Gym, we're open for 24 hours anyway. So there's enough time to train. I myself go before Seri so that I can get a good meal in after my workout. A lot of people want to train. A lot of my clients actually come before Iftar. It's a good time to burn off fat, because the body works such that it burns off the sugars first that you eat as your energy. Then it burns off the carbohydrates that you eat, and then it starts cutting into the fat. But when you have nothing in your system and you're trying to lose fat, that's the ideal time to go and jump, because it's just going to use the fat, the stored energy of the fat, to pull you through that workout. And you'd actually lose weight a lot quicker. And then you have iftar and you have a healthy meal iftar time, and you replenish anything that you've lost. And then, of course, water. Water is the key to the whole thing. in terms of trying to keep your body, if you were so used to such a structured diet before, make sure that you drink lots of water in Ramadan. Your body is going to need it. It's going to go into shock. The first sign of dehydration is hunger. And a lot of people mistake that, so that when they break their fast, they just stuff their face with food. Have a lot of water. Break your fast with half a liter of it. Sooner to break your fast with water.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for it. It opens up the stomach, rehydrates the body, and then we'll actually know from there how hungry we actually were.
Okay, so about half a liter at iftar time.
I would say go up to a liter, but I know it's difficult. Break your fast with your kajur, get the good sugars into your body, get your energy levels up. Half a liter to a liter. Once you pray your salah and read your Quran, 20 minutes later, that's when you should be having your iftar. So the body's absorbed everything, it's rehydrated itself, and then you have the food that it needs to give the body the energy.
Because the Hufaz, they don't actually eat between iftar and their tarawih, because they feel that food disturbs them. So that kind of fits in with what you're saying, because obviously the food gets to that point. If they're going to have a heavy meal, they're going to feel drained, and obviously it affects their concentration levels too. But generally, most people want to eat at iftar time. So that, when you said avoid the fries, that's quite a general statement, right? But in terms of more specifics, what would you recommend a good, nice, healthy iftar meal should be?
Okay.
Examples.
A good healthy iftar meal, a good healthy meal in general should have a portion of protein, a portion of carbohydrates, a portion of greens, which are your vegetables, and some fats on it. So fats would be your olive oils or your avocados, things like that. So for me, an ideal meal would be a piece of grilled chicken fillet with a small piece of sweet potato, 3 or 4 sticks of asparagus or handful of broccoli, which is the perfect greens, the roughage that your body needs, because in Ramadan, the digestive system takes a bit of a beating as well. So just to regulate everything, the broccoli and the asparagus is really good for you. And then just your olive oil drizzled on top of it, or a few slices of avocado. That would be the perfect iftar. If you don't want to have the chicken fillet, you can have grilled fish, grilled steak, any of those. That would be for me the ideal perfect meal. Even out of Ramadan, those 6 meals that I keep talking about, those would be the 6 meals that you need to be having.
Okay, that's very, very good, and a very good start to the program. Inshallah, we'll take a 8 break and we'll come back to a lifestyle suggestion from Mohammed Qasim. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Health Matters Comprehensive Chat by the Islamic Medical Association. Today we're discussing exercise, diet, fitness with Mohammed Qasim, a exercise diet specialist, runs a gym at the Splice in Kilani. And we're touching on, discussed fairly detailed actually in that short time that we had, about the type of food that we should be getting accustomed to in Ramadan and then carrying it forward for the rest of the year. And then just to summarize, you said a few meals a day, like maybe 4, 5, 6 meals, smaller meals outside Ramadan. In Ramadan, adjustment because of iftar and seri. So there's a habit, like a culture type of thing within our community, that after Taraweeh, a lot of desserts and sweet things coming back. So you mentioned a suggested iftar. People want to nibble and snack on something, and it's also like a social type of thing in Ramadan, especially on weekends, families getting together. So you don't want to deny them that, but what do you suggest?
I brought it up earlier where I said if you're going to have something with sugar in your body just before you sleep at night, you're going to wake up very lethargic. Your body's going to work very hard to try and break it down. Myself personally, I wouldn't touch any of those things. I know it looks nice, it tastes nice, and sometimes it feels like you antisocial because you don't want to have that. But biltong, almonds, snack on things like that, things that can actually help your body stay away from those desserts, especially at night. You've been fasting. We've got Eid coming up for that. Imagine if you go 30 days of fasting, spiritual benefits, everything, and eating properly. Can you imagine how enjoyable Eid will be? Give yourself that one day. I'm not saying we need to do the 7 days a week, 365. What I'm saying is every single day, try and stick 70 to 80% onto a good eating plan. not so much a diet. Like I say, people hear the word diet, the first 3 words of diet is die.
Yeah.
And people think that it's the death of them when they get to a diet. But try and stick to a good eating plan. Try and stick to eating healthy things. And then once a week, you can indulge whatever you were craving. Have that chocolate, have that burger, have that pizza. You were craving it, indulge in it. And you'll see, actually, you'll feel, you know what, this is not for me. Let me get back onto the healthy food again. But you need that, I think, mentally as well. You need that break from eating healthy. Anything in excessiveness is not good for you. I mean, clean eating is one of them as well. So, I mean, we got to have, I know what you mean in terms of being social with people and that, but also portion control. You don't need to go and have a massive slice of cake. You can just take a small piece, get the taste that you want, and then carry on. Why should you eat the entire cake? Have portion control. It's very important.
Right. And do you find when you're speaking to your clients that they say that they get hungry after Taraweeh, or do you find that? Do they tell you?
Of course, yeah, myself as well. I get very hungry after Taraweeh, and that's when I'll have another meal. So what I'll do is exactly what I had for iftar. I'm going to have that meal again. What we want to try and do is have as many small meals in that period that we're allowed to eat in Ramadan. So I'm kind of changing my days and nights around. My calorie intake will be very similar out of Ramadan and in Ramadan if you manage to change it up in that type of a way.
Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah. We have a caller. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Ji, brother. Go ahead with your question.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear us?
Hello. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yes, am I on air? I just have a question for Brother Mohammed Qasim.
Ji, go ahead with your question.
I'm also into training and fitness, and I just would like to know, I have a question. Is it true that eating fat doesn't make you fat?
It's a very good question. There are good types of fats and bad types of fats. Eating fat is not going to make you fat if you have it in portion control. So a good control would be 40% proteins in your meal, 40% carbohydrates, and 40% of fats. But the good fats that I'm talking about are from things like almonds, things like olive oil, things like avocados. Those are the good fats that you want to get into your system. You don't want to get the fats that come from sugars into your system.
Okay, I got 40% carbohydrates, 40% proteins, and 40% fats.
20%. That's 20% fats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that referring to like fats, like the pieces of meat or in biltong or other fats?
No, that won't be a problem. I mean, it's very small on a piece of meat in comparison to the size of the meat that you have. It literally is only 10%, not even 10% of the piece of meat that you're going to be eating. So that won't be a problem. It's not going to make you fat.
Okay, but I mean, is it healthy? It doesn't hinder your weight loss or anything in that regard?
First of all, with red meat, you shouldn't be having it every single day. That is unhealthy. It does become unhealthy in terms of the cholesterol levels going up and that. It's not really going to make you fat or hinder your weight loss, depending on how strict you want to be on your diet and how low you want to get your body fat percentage down. Once you want to get your body fat percentage down very low, that's when you need to start watching exactly the macronutrients that go into your body. So then you need to start cutting the fats off. But if you're just living a normal lifestyle and you want to just be healthy, it's not going to really affect it that much.
Okay, I understand. I'd like to know if a person eats chicken and fish more regularly during the week, for example, 3 to 4 times a week, chicken or fish, rather than prawns and red meat and so on, is this good and advised?
That's definitely advised. I would actually say maybe 6 times a week, 6 days of the week should be chicken or fish, and once a week would be the steak. Try and stay away from the red meat too much. It does cause a cholesterol problem, and it's not healthy to have every single day. So chicken and fish would be your best option for protein. Tuna as well is a fantastic way to go.
Yeah, I know, because in Gauteng you see Ekel wires, hunger butters, the square in Rosebank, it's all very nice. You know what
Like I said, you know what, good on the taste, a lifetime on the waist. So those are the fried stuff, that's what you need to stay away from. Be careful with regards to your meals and that, the preparation, the sauces and that have a lot of sugars in it. So the meat might be healthy for you, but the sauce and the basting that goes on it is where the problem is actually caused.
Yes, actually.
Jazakallah, brother, for your call, and inshallah we'll continue the program. And Thanks for the answers. Assalamu alaikum. We have another caller. Okay. All right. So inshallah, so it was very good because of some of the things we were going to talk about, and it was quite specific in his questions. In terms of the where we left off earlier, in the composition, right? So when you're talking about these 6 meals, and I'm looking at a working person, right? And obviously people have hectic work schedules. So what do you suggest? Should they be carrying things around? Some people are at the desk, and they're sedentary, and there are others that are on the move. And then the work allows for like a tea break in some setups, and sometimes a lunch break. But sometimes there's no tea break in between. So what would you say? What do they carry something around with them, like a on-the-go kind of stuff?
On the go, the protein shakes aren't a bad idea if you actually can't take 5 minutes out of your time to just go and have something to eat. And I'm sure all working places would allow you that. Just that 5 minutes out of your time to allow you to go and eat something quickly. But if you can't, a protein shake is an alternative. It's not bad for you. It's not the best in terms of your body works better trying to break down solid foods. So when you try and liquidize everything, the body doesn't work that well to break it down. It flows through your system. I find that the body responds much better to solid foods.
Got a caller. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh.
Ji, go ahead with your question.
My comment for today is actually with regards to smoking. I feel Ramadan is the best time for people who are smoking to actually get rid of the bad habit of smoking, because those who are around them are actually very badly affected more than themselves when they are smoking. So I would advise them to actually get rid of smoking. And with regards to what Brother Muhammad said about the good fat and the bad fat, so yes, you want the good fat and not the good fat. That is but the more of a light note on that from my side.
Okay.
Bring a smile for a while. Jazakallah for a wonderful program.
Okay, Jazakallah for those comments. Wa alaikum salam. Jazakallah for your input and comments. We have another caller. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Go ahead with your question, brother.
I just wanted to find out, is Nutritech mass gainer, is it healthy for the body?
The Nutritech product is a very, very, very good product. It's locally made. It's easily accessible as well. It is a good product. I myself am using the Nutritech Mass Builder for iftar, just to replace the carbohydrates in that I haven't had through the day. So I drink that with my water, read my salah, and then 20 minutes later I have my meal. It is a good product. Just be careful with the calorie intake. I think it's 470 calories per serving. It is quite high, so I just suggest go with 1 scoop unless you're extremely thin and you are looking to put on a lot of weight.
All right, Jazakallah.
Jazakallah, very good question also, very interesting one also, because
that's to do with
many
the
people are not aware of we were going to come to supplements, inshallah. Another caller. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Yourself?
I'd just like to thank Mohammed for really inspiring us on Instagram and also his exercises. But Mohammed, tell me, what do you recommend for us women in Ramadan to do exercises? What types do you have?
I would say for women, depending whether you want a weight loss or you want to just maintain your muscle, which one are you looking at doing?
Weight loss.
With weight loss, I'd suggest that the best time would be an hour before iftar. Like I said, your body's going to go straight into the fat zones and use that stored energy of fats to burn off as much as possible.
Okay, and anything after Seri? Because we usually train around 6 o'clock in the morning. Would you recommend that?
Yeah, I would recommend that as well. But then what you want to try and do is have a very light Seri, because you want to keep your stomach as empty as possible. So for Seri, I'd suggest just having maybe one egg white just to get the protein into your system. 3 tablespoons of oats, just so that you can get some carbs in, but then about a liter of water, because you are going to get dehydrated through the day.
No, definitely. Water is number one. But thank you so much for inspiring us, Mohammed.
It's a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Salam.
Salam.
Jazakallah khair. Another caller. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you this afternoon?
Alhamdulillah. Yourself?
Alhamdulillah.
That's good.
Yes, sir. I'm watching your program, and I'm like thinking, which social economic group are you directing the diet? because most people cannot even afford cooking oil, let alone olive oil. So the diet is very good, but I'm thinking about the diet that you should also think about the people at the lower end of the financial economic scale, yeah, that they can actually afford also to lose weight and have a good diet.
Very good point, Sister. Mohammed, you want to answer that?
Excellent question. The diet does not need to be expensive. I'm saying olive oil, just giving it as an example of healthy fats that we can use. But there are many other options of healthy fats. Avocados are not the most expensive thing. We can get avocados in there as our healthy fats. The chicken fillets I know do become expensive. In terms of protein, there are beans that we can get our proteins from. There's so many different sources of food. This was just a structure that I was giving you, more or less as an example. But I mean, we can get proteins from so many different forms. It works out so much cheaper to eat healthy. I promise you, when you do the costing, it works out so much cheaper to eat healthy than it does to eat the unhealthy way that we were eating.
No, I appreciate that. But I was getting a bit worried that you are directing a fitness program at a certain social group only.
Oh, no, sorry if it came across that way. It was not meant to be that way. I was just giving examples of a structured diet. I do apologize, but like I say, there are so many other ways that you can get your proteins, your carbs, your good fats in a much cheaper way. Honestly, it does work out expensive for everybody. I do understand that. So when you want to, if you sit down and you work out the costings, it will work out so much cheaper to have these small meals through the day instead of making these big meals at the end of the day and trying to fit everything in it at once.
Okay, shukran. I appreciate your program, okay?
Jazakallah khair, very good point also, and I think that's it's a comprehensive thing. We're not targeting any specific group, and it's well highlighted. Obviously, we're giving examples and making us aware of the fact. And we'll continue after the break, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Health Matters Comprehensive Chat on a Saturday afternoon, our Ramadan program. And we've had some very interesting interactive discussion just prior to the break, discussing eating plans, exercise and fitness in Ramadan with Mohammed Kassim from the gym at the Splice. Mohammed, we kind of covered quite a bit on diet. I just want you to explain a few more specifics on exercise. You know, when we're telling people that they need to exercise, maybe perhaps before iftar, depending whether it's weight loss or what they're looking for, muscle gain, sehri time. Again, there's time constraints. So what kind of exercise would you recommend? Any specifics? And then not everyone can get to the gym, right? So some people are on the road, they're running. Some people are doing cycling over weekends. And sehri time, again, what can they do at home?
With exercise, of course, it depends on your fitness level, and fitness level is something that you can build up. So even if you start walking, in a week's time you might be jogging, in a month's time you might be running. So that totally depends on you. So I'm not going to say the intensity level needs to be somewhere. What I'm going to say to you is you need to be moving. You need to be moving. If you can't get to the gym, there's so many things that we can do at home. Core strengthening exercises like your planking, your sit-ups for your abs, your jumping jacks just to get the heart rate going, and of course the most hated exercise, most of my audience here will know, the burpees. It's an exercise that will get your heart rate through the roof as well, and it's something that if you can just do for 10 to 15 minutes before you start your day, you're going to start your day off so well. Once the heart is pumping, the body knows you're awake, it knows you're alive, the blood's going to be flowing through you, and exercise for a lot of people, it's more than just the gym, it's therapy. It gets you through your day. It relieves a lot of stress. People will tell you, you know what, I need to go to the gym. I need to release the stress in my life and that. And that's what exercise actually is supposed to do. It's supposed to release all these endorphins in your body. It's supposed to make you feel happy. It's supposed to make you feel good. Stop having this notion, I hate exercising and I don't want to exercise. It's a mindset. Get your mind right. What the mind says, the body believes. And it really believes it, and it will start showing. It might take a month, it might take 2 months, it might take 3 months. But remember something, once it goes through that roof, it's going to be better than you've ever felt before. Your body's going to look better than you've ever felt before. Your confidence level is going to be up, and you're going to be able to perform daily functions much better than you've been able to do before.
We have a caller. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
You go ahead with your question, sister.
Okay, my question is that I would like to see what can be an alternative compared to your chronic illness.
Sorry, can you repeat your question? Sorry, we can't hear you too well.
What can help matters heal of epilepsy illness with chronic?
Sorry, I can't get that question. Sorry. I can't hear.
Sorry, sister. Your line is a bit bad. Please repeat. Sorry for that.
Okay, what I'm saying is I want to check what can help with your health matters compared to epilepsy illness you're suffering of, because I'm losing a lot of weight.
Chronic illness. I think it's a chronic illness that she's talking about. Are you putting on a lot of weight, or are you losing a lot of weight?
Hello?
Are you losing a lot of weight, or are you putting on a lot of weight?
No, the line is bad.
Line is so bad. Sorry, sister. Sorry about that. Apologies. It's a very bad line. But you something about chronic illness.
Chronic illnesses.
Well, it's a good point. In fact, maybe I don't know if you're going to answer the sister's question, but they are generally we haven't really categorized patients in the program yet. But there are people who have these chronic illnesses, and they got diabetes, hypertension, and now some of them want to fast. And what would you say? Should they cut down a little bit on their physical activities in Ramadan and then go back to their pre-Ramadan program?
Well, first of all, anyone with a chronic illness, or anyone who wants to start exercising in the first place, you need to go and see your physician at first. Test that everything is okay, and get their advice from them. I don't want to be the one telling you, go and do this now, and then something has to happen. Go and see your physician first. Let your physician tell you, okay, this is the intensity of exercise that you are able to do, that you should be able to do, and then take it from there.
Okay. All right. So obviously that's a reasonable suggestion. So people shouldn't just be coming to you directly, and then they rather get themselves checked and know at what level they can cope with it. But in the instances when you get them coming there and their medical history is not too clear to you, do you then refer them back to the physician?
I refer them back to the physician to get a report back from the physician. Right. From there, I can see exactly what I can do with the client. If it's a heart problem, if it's diabetic, then of course the diet needs to change slightly. If they're on insulin, just depending on all of that.
Okay. In terms of optimizing fitness, now you mentioned your electrical circuit, so you've got the eating plan, you've got the exercise thing happening, and to bring that all together in terms of fitness, the program, I mean, if somebody does start in Ramadan, and then obviously post Ramadan they'll move on with what you're suggesting, at what level, I mean, are there stages in which they can go through, or do you have like a program?
Of course, there are stages that you can go through, and I mean, you can get me on my Instagram page. You can contact me with regards to programs.
Another caller, can I interrupt?
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. Go ahead with your question. Assalamu alaikum.
Do you?
Sorry, okay, I think next caller. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Ji sister, go ahead with your question.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, listen, I just saw now and I want to ask what can people how to diet, and that is quite a lot. That is in my state now. I'm losing a lot of weight.
She's losing a lot of weight.
Okay.
Yes.
First of all, I think you need to go to your doctor to go and check if you do have a thyroid problem, or if there is something that's
contributing to
the weight loss. From there, the next step would be then going to a nutritionist who would test your blood type, and for your blood type, they'd be able to give you the perfect diet to go on. Then the third step would be then getting into the physical activity to be able to put on the weight again, and to make sure that the weight loss doesn't carry on.
And the other thing is that, will that also help me stop my epilepsy or some disappointment, and that I can be as healthier as I am before now.
Well, inshallah, it will be able to help you get over whatever illness that you do have. But of course, it's a very it's a very touchy subject when there is a chronic illness involved in terms of what exercise you are able to do and what level you can take the exercise to. But remember something: the body was built to move, and the body will be able to adapt, and you will be able to get over whatever you're going through right now. Just start. That's the first thing that you need to do. Go and see your doctor. Start from there. Go to a nutritionist, and then from there, get into the gym. I promise you, your body will definitely respond to it, and inshallah you'll be feeling a lot better. It might not cure the illness, but it will be able to help you get through whatever you're going through.
Yeah, I think, sister, what you need to do is get a comprehensive assessment done by your doctor, and then have a plan with him before you engage and embark on any of these suggestions here. And then from there, obviously, but you have to take that first step to know exactly what capacity and what you can cope with and what your illnesses are, what interaction the medication is going to have. So all those things are also quite important.
Okay, well, very shukran. So I have to go to my neurologist and confirm with him what is the problem, why I'm losing so a lot of weight. And because the medication is not actually works for me.
Yes.
It is work, but it's over-controlling.
Yeah, I think it's important because your medicine could be contributing to a lot of your issues. So you need to sort that out first. That's very, very important.
Okay, so I should go to my doctor and ask him why I'm losing so a lot of weight, because I would like to gain weight again.
Gee, you can do that first. That will be your first point of call, yeah, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. All the best, inshallah.
Shukran.
Shukran. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, so I was just talking about structured programs, you know, like for example, a lot of people do their own thing, and do you suggest that people, you know, because sometimes because of time constraints they can't get to a gym and that, so should they rather consult in the beginning, get a structured program and then move on to the thing instead of just reading around things and not knowing where they are?
That is exactly how it should be done. Don't go in there doing something that you read on the internet and you think, okay, let me do this, and it worked for him, it's going to work for me. Get professional advice, get a structured program, work with that structured program. It will build you from your foundation right up to the roof.
Okay. I'm going to touch on something that may be controversial. We haven't actually touched on it. I mean, lots of people are... Okay, let me take a call first. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
How are you, brother?
Yeah.
What's your question? I think it's phoning from...
Hello.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hello.
Hello, Ji. Go ahead with your question.
Okay. I joined the gym somewhere. So
He dropped the call.
Okay, I think maybe he wanted to know about if he joined, where does he start? Again, like I say, get professional advice, start with a structured program. Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. Okay, what I was going to touch on is we're finding this increasing, you know, when you speak to people and those that even come to our practices and even at social discussions, venting. And you don't, you're obviously getting people coming there.
I do. I myself personally am totally against it. I feel that the body needs the carbohydrates. And if you eat the right carbohydrates, it's just going to give you the energy that you need. Why deprive your body of something that it needs?
Okay, but people are getting results. I mean, you're finding people.
You're getting results. The problem is
your issue maintenance?
Maintenance becomes a major issue because, I mean, of course, your energy levels do drop. So initially, with the fats substituting for the carbohydrates, you might have a bit of energy, but over a year or 2 years, it's just not sustainable, and then your body forgets what to do with the carb. And when you put carbs into your body, that's when you start getting the reverse effect and you start blowing up, which is why I'm saying don't get a diet, get a lifestyle.
Okay, so you think the balance is lost?
The balance is lost, definitely.
And that's your opinion. I don't want to.
Yeah, it's my opinion. It's my opinion. I don't want to start any controversy, but that's just my personal opinion on the venting diet. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's very good. Obviously, we shall be going for an ad break, and inshallah we'll see you shortly. Assalamu alaikum.
The Jamiatul Qur'an is one of the leading Quranic institutions in South Africa over the last 50 years. Based in Cape Town, the JEQ has constantly produced Huffaz and Hafidhas of the highest caliber. let us not fail the Quran. Support the JEQ to continue to produce boys and girls who have memorized the Book of Allah by sponsoring a Hafidh or Hafidha for only 1,250 rands per month or 15,000 rands per annum. This grand legacy of Huffaz and Hafidhas must continue and will continue with your support, insha'Allah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the last segment of this program today, Health Matters Comprehensive Chat by the Islamic Medical Association. We're discussing issues about eating plans, diet, exercise. But like in everything that we do in Islam, although in Ramadan and even outside of Ramadan, we choose the middle path, the moderation. So it's not all about activity. There has to be a rest component in this whole program and your suggestions.
Rest is part of the program. Like I explained to you with the electrical circuit, the third component is you're sleeping, you're resting. This is when your body actually starts losing the weight. So the gym is just an activation. You're not really going to lose the weight in the gym. The diet is helping this activation go along, and it's fueling your body according to what your body needs. And then the resting part, this is the most important part that people forget. It's very important to get 6 to 8 hours of sleep every single day. Wake up fresh and start your day fresh. Your body will rest, it will prevent injuries, your organs will all heal properly, and inshallah you'll be healthy going into your older age. I mean, that's all what we want to train for. We all know that our time, when it is our time, it will be our time, but we don't want to be struggling along as we're getting to that point of our time that we leave this earth. We want to be as healthy as we can be. We need to look after it. You only have one health. If it goes, it's going to be a problem. Look after it now. They say if you don't make time for health in your youth, make time for sickness in your old age.
Very important, yeah, of course. And that can be quite irreversible at times, and there's no ways you can turn the clock back. Rest, you're referring specifically to sleep?
Sleep, also from training, what I would suggest, like Ramadan's a very tedious time. Let's use it as an example because we are in Ramadan at the moment. Myself personally, I would gym the first 3 weeks of Ramadan or first 20 days of Ramadan. The last 10 days of Ramadan, of course, the ibadat increases, and with the big nights coming up, you're not going to get as much rest as you needed. So I'd say stop the gym then. 10 days, it's not going to destroy your physique or it's not going to set you back far. Just take that time off, let your body recover as well. Then mentally and spiritually, you can feel the true essence of those last 10 days of Ramadan. And hopefully when you come out, you'll be well rested. What I like to do is every 12 weeks, I take 1 week off from training completely. So it gives the body time to rest, gives the joints time to rest, because I mean your body does take, the more intense your training gets, the body does take a bit of a beating, and it needs time to recuperate and it needs time to recover. So I think the rest periods are important, and people tend to forget it. There are two sides of the equation. One where people who don't want to train at all, and then the other side of the equation is people who love training so much that they refuse to take a rest. And like I said, anything in excessive amounts is not good for you. So the rest is important as well.
Again, so we stick to the sunnah of the Prophet, again, doing things in a moderate way and in a balanced way. So we're almost reaching the end of the program. In terms of what we've discussed, do you want to give any kind of take-home tips to anybody? What kind of lifestyle in terms of incorporating these three elements? Say, let's take hypothetically somebody who hasn't started, say, after seeing your program today, say, okay, let me start this thing. What would be the first step?
Well, hopefully I motivated them enough to start. So the first step would be you yourself need to decide that you need to change. You need to know, right, okay, this is the point in my life where I'm fed up with living the unhealthy lifestyle. I'm fed up with being overweight, or I'm fed up with being super skinny. I need to change now. And you need to get that into your mindset that I'm going to be able to change. The first step is just getting off that sofa, getting into a gym, getting to see someone who's professional enough to guide you through everything that you need to do, get your diet in order. I know it's difficult initially. Like anything that we do, it's very difficult initially. When we were born, we couldn't speak a language. And within a year, 2 years, we start speaking. And now look at us, speaking our language. It's first nature to us. Anything that you do initially will be difficult. It's your mind that needs to pull you through. The body will follow after the mind.
Okay, and then specifically, if somebody is now in this junction, they're approaching the last 10 days now, not the ideal time perhaps to start in a Ramadan perspective, because now they want to increase the ibadat. But if they want to start something slowly now, in terms of any kind of physical activity? Would you recommend just walking?
Just a simple thing like straight after your iftar, do not go and sit down on the sofa, get up and go for a walk. Go for a walk around the block even if it's just as small as that. Go for a walk around the block, come back in, you'll feel the difference already. And when those endorphins from a small walk kick in and you feel good with that, can you imagine when you start taking the intensity level a bit higher?
Okay. And then we've got obviously lots of running groups and exercise groups and that in the area, right? And all over the place, they're there. In terms of their intensity, those that are now at that level, right? From their point of view, their diet, their eating patterns, are you recommending anything to them?
Well, a lot of them, I do train a lot of them, and they do have good eating habits, and they've got it pretty much structured. So they know that, look, in Ramadan, this is what I need to do, this is what I need to eat. But it's very similar. The eating habits shouldn't change in terms of what your goals are. Yes, the portion sizes should change in that, but the habit itself shouldn't change in terms of what your goal is. You need to still be eating the good foods to keep your body going, and that will give you the energy. I've seen a lot of them actually after Tarawih going for a run. It's a fantastic thing to see that the community fitness has gotten into the community, and people are now finally understanding the importance of health and fitness for now and for future generations as well.
And just like the sister suggested, this program is not targeted to only those groups that can afford these exercises like cycling, expensive sport, but running, and for the people that don't need to spend a lot of money. So it's basically simple things, eh?
No one charges you to run on the road. You can put a pair of tekkies on and go for a run. You'll feel good about it. You can do a few push-ups at home. It doesn't cost anything. Exercise and fitness is not limited to the gym only. Okay. It's not limited to specific weight training and this and that. It's for anyone. Our bodies, like I said, we weren't built to just sit. We were built to move. Yes. Our posture was built to move.
Yeah, because affordability is an issue.
Of course.
Yeah. And then supplements. I mean, you touched on it a bit earlier through the question from one of the viewers. What's your view on supplements and anything specific? Because there's so much in the market. How do you even trust a supplement has what it says?
That's a good question. It is very difficult to trust a lot of the supplement companies. That's why you would rather go for the reputable ones who are in places like the Skim and that, because they test all their products to make sure that whatever is in there is actually in there. In terms of supplements, it's a supplement. It's a supplementation for something that you can't get into your body at the time that you're getting that you need to get it into your body. So I wouldn't say you need to substitute it for food. So I won't say have it as a meal replacement. Have the meal, but if you can't have the meal, then have the supplement. Another good supplement is a whey protein. It's a quick release protein. So that for instance is something that I would suggest you have every single day, straight after your training session. Goes straight into your muscles, and it helps the muscles recover quicker. That's one that I would suggest you have every day. But your meal replacements in that, I'd say have the meal first. If you can't have the meal due to time with work or whatever that is, then you go with the meal replacement.
And people sometimes don't make the differentiation between supplements and vitamins. So they go and buy a whole lot of vitamin things, and then they buy the actual supplements, and then they say they're supplementing themselves with vitamins. Right? So do you differentiate between those
Look, a lot of the supplements have your vitamins in it, and then I mean it's good to take a multivitamin as well. Of course, there is the contentious one with supplements and steroids. Now those are two completely different topics, and it's chalk and cheese. One, I mean, a lot of people need to understand supplements are not going to have the side effects. Steroids, on the other hand, is I mean, that we can go on for another hour talking about the side effects of that. You as a doctor would know all of that.
Okay. And when people come to you, you touched on the skinny people, they want to pick up weight. So they tend to go and get a lot of vitamin shots from wherever they're getting them from. Do you recommend that they can still continue with that, with the guidance of the doctor, and then obviously come to you?
Of course, yeah. Continue with the vitamin shots if it is giving you the energy and that. But remember something, there's two sides. If you need to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit, which means you need to be eating less calories than you're actually burning off. And if you want to pick up weight, you need to force yourself to eat a lot more. You need to go into a calorie surplus, and that's the only way that the body will work. If you're in a deficit, you will lose weight. If you're in a surplus, you will pick up weight.
So most of the program we touched on the calorie deficit component. Maybe the last point is calorie surplus. What you recommend for them to eat?
If you're someone skinny and you're trying to put on muscle and you're burning off an average of 1,000 calories through your workout and another 1,000 calories through your day, So that's 2,000 calories your body is burning off. You need to put in about 3,000 calories into your body every single day so that you have a surplus of 1,000 calories. From that, your body will be able to help you put on the weight. It will store, yes, you will put on some fat, but being skinny, you're not really going to blow up and it's not going to look fat, but your muscles will be able to regenerate a lot quicker with that calorie surplus.
But that composition that you spoke about, 40, 40,
still,
20,
still stays the same. Still stays the same. It's just the quantity of the food then
so
changes.
the portion will be
the
big.
portion goes.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to you, Mohammed, for coming to the program. We really appreciate it. And assalamu alaikum to the viewers. We trust that the next few days of Ramadan, what remains, and getting on to the really big days. And we hope, inshallah, everyone can find the night of Laylatul Qadr. And remember also those that are in really dire need throughout the globe in terms of the ummah. Please pray for them. And Allah grant you all a very, very good, healthy Ramadan and beyond, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.